Welcome back to Saga's Not Going Out Club. So today I am going to make some Viennese whirls. When I was a little girl growing up in South Africa, these used to be my favourite biscuits. And like everybody in these strange times, I have actually been doing quite a lot of cleaning of the house. And I came across my very first pastry book. Now inside there was a recipe, and it reminded me of when I was a little girl. We used to go to this bakery called Shamrock Bakery, who was a patient of my father's, and we were allowed to choose a treat once a fortnight. And I plucked up the courage one day to ask him for the recipe, so here it is. It's 200 grams of unsalted butter, 40 grams of icing sugar. You cream that until it's really, really light and fluffy. Once you've done that, you add 200 grams of cake flour and 40 grams of corn flour. Now that could also be arrowroot, or if you don't have any, custard powder. You beat it up until it's really, really light and fluffy. And make sure that it's quite soft, because this is it's quite a stiff mixture, so it's quite hard to pipe. We're going to pop it into a piping bag with a big star nozzle. Now you can do any shapes you want to. I've done a couple already just to show you. I've done some shell-shaped ones. You can do some logs, you can do some S shapes. It doesn't really matter what shape you do. Now this is quite a stiff mix, you have to have strong hands for piping. But what I'm going to do as well is, once we've done this, we sandwich the two together with some tempered chocolate. Now I know a lot of people like to temper chocolate at home, but they never get it right because it's quite a tricky thing to do. So I'm going to show you a nice, quick, easy way about how you can temper some chocolate at home. So once you put this in your piping bag, we're going to pipe some shells. Like I said, it is quite stiff, so try and get the bit of cake mix down to the biscuit mix down to the bottom. And you want a nice big nozzle, and I'm going in between just so my cookies are not going to touch once I've put them in the oven. You can do some swirls as well, and I'm piping them quite flat because I'm going to sandwich them together, so I'm not too worried if they go flat. Now, when I found my recipe book, I actually thought I actually got quite excited because I thought this really reminds me of when I was a child. So what I thought I'd do is I'd teach my kids how to make them as well. But of course they know better. I'm just going to show you a quick trick because there's quite a lot of mixture left in this piping bag. So if you flatten it, grab a scraper and you can scrape all the excess down to the bottom. I think I've been living in Scotland too long. I don't like any waste. We'll see, we'll get an extra 3 or 4 cookies out of here. Okay, once we've done this, we're going to pop them into the oven at about 180 for about 10 to 12 minutes. Okay, now the best thing to do is to just leave them for a couple of hours to set nicely once you've baked them. Otherwise, it'll be quite difficult to work with them. So here you can see I've done a few S's. I'm going to put one up and one down. Okay, like so. And I've made a little bit of vanilla buttercream, which is very, very easy to make as well. It's just butter, icing sugar, vanilla essence. Okay, and we're going to pipe that around the outside. You don't have to do this, but this is how they were when I was a little girl, so this is how I want them now. And it's always a good idea to leave them just to set for a couple of minutes, because we're going to dip the ends in chocolate. Okay, now we want our buttercream to set slightly. Okay, so pipe a little bit around the outside. With the bigger ones you can put a little bit more if you want, and you just have to practice your piping. That's all you have to do. I've got about 40 something odd years under my belt with a piping bag in my hand, so I feel quite at home with it. Okay, once we've done that, I've also got some raspberry jam, which we're going to put inside. Now, with our raspberry jam, we're just going to give it a little bit of a work. But before I do that, I'm just going to start the tempering process off, so I'm going to put this in the microwave. We've got to do two things at once. We're going to multitask. Okay, this is really nice raspberry jam. You can use anything you want, okay? Salted caramel is also quite nice. Just pop that in. And when they stick together, I've been having to do lots of running in between all this baking. I tell you what, I've been teaching my kids, and it does remind me of being a child, so I have been eating some of them as well. So I've been trying to run. I started running, and then my husband decided to join me, and now he's hijacked my fun and games. Anyway, people that run together, exercise together, stay together. Is that not right? So we're going to push them together like so, okay? We're just going to let them set for a sec while we do some chocolate, okay? Sometimes they flatten a bit more, depends on how cold the butter is and how soft the butter is. But salted caramel inside here is also very good. Now, that's the microwave gone, it's gone ping. I put a bowl of chocolate in the microwave, and it has to be a plastic bowl, okay? Glass is going to retain the heat, so we want to make sure we use plastic, okay? We don't want it to burn. So what we're doing is anything with cocoa butter or cocoa liquor in it, we have to do a process called tempering. That enables the chocolate to set. We want to make sure that there's no lumps or anything in it, so I've popped it in the microwave for a minute, and I'm going to slowly melt it until it reaches 30 degrees. You don't want to take it above 30. And like I said, the really important thing is a plastic bowl. So you can see it started melting. Give it a stir, make sure you always give it a stir. I am worried about the temperature, but I'm not too concerned about using a thermometer, okay? Pop it back in, and we'll put it in now for 30 seconds, okay? Always make sure you take it out and stir it, and always make sure your microwave is on high, okay? The most important thing that you have to do when you are tempering chocolate is to do a paper test. So when you've got all your chocolate melted and there's a few little droplets left in it, keep stirring it, and if you're too scared to put it in the microwave, you can get a heat gun or a hairdryer and use that to melt the excess of the colettes. Now, colettes is just a fancy name for, it's a Belgian company, the chocolate that I sometimes use. I sometimes use a couple of other brands as well, but that's what they call it. Make sure you chop your chocolate up into little pieces as well. You can see it's melting nicely now. I'm going to pop it in now into the microwave now for about 20 seconds. If you want to use chocolate, always make sure you use a good quality chocolate. Sometimes the chocolate you get from the supermarket is not going to melt down nice and runny, okay? The viscosity of chocolates are different. So if you want to make something that you need a runny chocolate for, make sure you get the correct chocolate. You can buy professional chocolate out there, but also if you get some chocolate that you want to use at home, you can make sure if you don't get it too hot, it will also hopefully be nice and runny. So here we are. I'm not too worried about those last few lumps in there. I'm going to put my thermometer on. Excellent. It's sitting at 31.5, and I'm just going to give it a stir, but before I use it, I'm going to make sure I do a test, okay? I have tested it over here, this one, and it's perfect. Now you shouldn't have to set chocolate in the fridge, okay? Your chocolate should set in about, for milk chocolate in a nice cool kitchen, in about 8 to 10 minutes. And if it comes off the paper like this, then you know it's tempered. And if you look closely, you can't see any lines in it. So even though I didn't use a thermometer, I did use a thermometer, but not for this one, this is by far the most important test that you need to do. I know now that my chocolate's going to set. If it had stripes on it or it didn't set within 5 to 10 minutes, you'll have to start the process again, okay? So then all we do is we're going to get our biscuits. We're going to dip them in our tempered chocolate and we're going to set them down. Now if you try and use these biscuits really, really fresh, what's going to happen is they're going to crumble. So it's always a good idea to leave them until they're nice and cool. And also if you try and dip your biscuits while they're still warm, you're going to affect the tempered chocolate, okay? So we'll do these on the side. I'm looking forward to my afternoon tea today, I can tell you that much. I'm using these silicone mats because I have some and I like them. If you have any of them at home, that's great, you can, or you can just use your own parchment paper. And if you have any tempered chocolate that's left over and you want to do some strawberries with it, this is a perfect temperature and consistency to do strawberries as well. You just dip your strawberries and like I said, you shouldn't have to put them in the fridge. These will start setting pretty soon. And there you have it. My favourite Viennese whirls that remind me of South Africa when I was a little girl. Thank you for watching and we'll see you again soon.